Well, the independent inquiry into Australia's print and online media, which arose out of concerns related to the news of the world phone hacking scandal, is causing a political ruckus again this week. The government's denied opposition claims that the Greens lobbied for former journalist and academic Dr Matthew Ricketson to help head up the inquiry. This all comes as submissions continue to be lodged. For more, let's return to James. James, any controversial suggestions so far in those submissions?
Well, a few interesting things been sort of bubbling around this week. Bob Brown has lodged his own sort of what he thought should happen, and again he raised the ownership thing. I think something the government didn't want to really get into, but he thinks there should be, an inquiry into what he calls as News Limited's, domination of the print sector, especially. He suggested that maybe even a sort of a test of character for people that own newspapers, a licensing, if you like, something which is pretty unlikely to get up, I would have thought. 9MSN, big online player, said, look, maybe online news sites shouldn't be judged the same as newspaper sites are. Well, I didn't actually read that submission, but that's the summary. I think probably good luck getting that one up, I would have thought. And another one, the Press Council actually sought in some extreme cases for perhaps repetitive or persistent behaviour, fines for sloppy journalism, if you like, which would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll keep watching that. Now, just a separate issue entirely, SBS, of course, another claim that it's underfunded, yet it's secured the World Cup rights again.
Yeah, managed to find what we think is around $40 million for the... It's not the next World Cup, they already had that. They bought the last package, South Africa and Brazil, I think for not sure how much that was, but FIFA packaged that up as a double. It was less than 40 million. It was for 2018 and 2022. I think it's Brazil. Was Brazil the next one? I'm getting confused now. Russia and Qatar, because Australia was up for that 2022 and they lost out to Qatar. So, yeah, SBS have locked that away, so they've got the next 3 World Cups. A big generator of revenue for them. Gets their biggest audiences of the year. Well, it's only every 4 years, so when they have it on, it's their biggest magnet. It was a real win for FIFA last week. They sort of wrapped up worldwide deals around $1.7 billion. So if you like, maybe SBS got a bargain for $40 million for Australia.
All right. Well, let's just stay in the television sector. And TV1's Australian drama Killing Time, about the downfall of criminal lawyer Andrew Fraser, debuted this week. The series was delayed by court proceedings related to Fraser's case. Well, to tell us more, we're joined now by the CEO of TV1, Peter Hudson. Peter, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Bridie.
It must have been great to actually finally get the series out to viewers. It must be quite frustrating too, the delays caused by the court proceedings.
Absolutely. The journey for us started about 2009 when Fremantle Media first brought the project to us. We went into production early in 2010. And by the middle of 2010 we were ready to go. But unfortunately a case that had been before the Victorian Supreme Court, which we thought would have been resolved by then, actually was ongoing. So that delayed our start, but pleasingly we got to air last night, and yeah, terrific performance by the program, but unbelievably good reviews leading up to it. Everybody who's seen it just absolutely loves it.
Peter, the #1 show on the subscription platform last night, I think, so the most watched program. TV1, Australian crime drama, not something you normally see on TV1, but you have got a history with Aussie productions, don't you?
Yeah, the Aussie production started for us back early 2000, where we dabbled in some comedy. We had the very successful comedy Stupid, Stupid Man, and in 2006 we moved forward into an Aussie telemovie, which was The King, and as we all know now, that it was so successful, Logie Award winning, AFI Award winning, and it was the story of Graham Kennedy. And that started our relationship with Fremantle Media. They brought us then, after that relationship, brought us the story of Andrew Fraser. And it was such a compelling story, such an interesting story, and we knew they were the guys that could bring it to life for us, and they did exactly that. You're right, James, we don't have a real history of Australian drama on the channel, but what we do have is a great heritage of crime drama on the channel through the very successful franchises of Law and Order and also NCIS.
Looking at Killing Time, there are still some episodes that will have to be aired next year, and they may be delayed as well because of ongoing court proceedings?
They may be. We're still talking with the lawyers in Melbourne on a regular basis, and that will hopefully be resolved before the end of episode 6 for us. So that we may be able to play them straight through.
You mentioned the international, like the Law and Order franchise, NCIS. Now they come to you through the people that own the channel that supply the content. Yep. So just tell us who are the partners.
Our partners are CBS, NBC and Sony. So prolific makers of great television, and they supply us fantastic content, and probably 95–96% of our content that we run. And the one constant thread through all of that is that they're been very successful franchises, whether it's the crime franchises or over to the comedy franchises like Seinfeld, Frasier, Everybody Loves Raymond, all very, very successful for us. And the other things, some more of television's greatest hits, the things like The Bewitched, The Hogan's Heroes, Brady Bunch, Happy Days, those programs still stand up today.
Are you looking at further Australian drama though, given so far the success of Killing Time? Yeah. And would you work with Fremantle again, or what's sort of the next step? I'd
welcome a knock on the door from Fremantle again. I think they've got a track record. I think we'll see Killing Time also take its place at the award shows, whether it's the ACTA Awards or the Logies or the ASTRAs, I think, and probably all three, hopefully. I think it's that's such a good production that I think we'll perform well there. Yes, we're talking to lots of different people. There's always somebody knocking on your door with an idea. The great ideas like this Andrew Fraser story, was just too compelling not to do. So if there's another one out there, and I'm sure there's plenty of crime going on. So I think we might be.
Genre too,
yeah, it's the genre, and it works. People watch it.
Peter, the TV one's been around a while now. I mean, you pretty much used to have a niche all to your own, perhaps, when you started. But since then, there's a triple one hits. Shows a bit of retro TV. Some of the digital TV channels from the free-to-airs get into that space a bit. Have your audience has been impacted much?
Yeah, they have. In the last 2 years, we've had probably somewhere close to 50 new viewing options become available. And within that 50, probably something like 30 of those viewing options are in the general entertainment genre. So yeah, we've certainly been affected, but again, we're still regularly the #2 channel on the platform. So again, the strength of the programming is what stands out for us.
How important is the ad spend as well for TV1? Because obviously, I mean, I'd imagine it would be a smaller part compared to subscriptions, but still very important.
Yeah, it's a reasonable sort of balance. It's very important. Ad sales is important and will be increasingly important going forward, as long as we can deliver the audiences. That's our job.
You've got a sister channel, Sci-Fi. Yeah. Are you able to sort of use those two channels as a joint offering to advertisers? And tell us a little bit about how Sci-Fi's going.
Yeah, well, Sci-Fi was born from TV1. Sci-Fi as a genre was located on TV1 for a long time. Star Trek franchise, Stargate, Medium. So shows like that, which easily translated back in 2006 across to the Sci-Fi channel. So yeah, it's very easy to translate the audience. The key demographic for us, for both TV1 and Sci-Fi, is 25 to 54, and so it's constant. So as a package for an advertiser, we're able to run across both channels. And the other good thing, from a cross-promotion point of view, we're able to cross-promote very well.
How is the ad market looking from your point of view?
Ad market's been tough as it's adjusted to the new competitive number of channels. Certainly in the general entertainment sector, it's been a tough 2011. Things got better through 2010. Very end of 2010 dipped away, and it's been a month-by-month proposition, but certainly the outlook for 2012 is certainly improving, and I think that'll go hand in hand with economic conditions hopefully improving.
I guess
Oh, sorry, James.
Just dropped your biggest show of the year, I guess, just started. But Foxtel's been out sort of spruiking what they've got coming up for next year. Have you got any sort of big programs, or will we find out in due course about what's coming?
In due course, but coming in, and we talked about franchises that work for us. NCIS is an extension of that, is NCIS LA. That comes to us in January, is available. It's the premiere programs really are the key where we can grab exclusive content, certainly in the sci-fi area, and we've got an exciting one from NBC coming in January, and that's Alphas, and that'll be really good, and that could well build into a very strong franchise as well.
We'll have to leave it there. Peter, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Okay, thank you.
Peter Hudson there, CEO of TV1. Coming up on Media Week, the media frenzy to be the first to get a Kim Kardashian exclusive and the second last radio survey for the year.